When I heard about this thing 4 years ago, I had heard about it from a mortgage lender here in Oklahoma City. And what he asked me was this. He said, if I can show you how to pay off your mortgage in one half to even maybe a third the time you're currently scheduled to pay that off, is that something you'd want to know about? Well, obviously, I said, of course, right? Who would not say anything different? So when he ran my numbers, and I showed on the program that I would be totally debt free in 36 months. Now, I had a brand new 20-year mortgage. I had only made about 3 or 4 payments on it. Now, here's the good news. Even though I was scheduled to be debt free in 36 months, I started taking the money I was earning here by sharing this with some of my clients. And I actually paid off my 20-year mortgage in 26 months. I paid it off 10 months quicker than what he told me I would get to. As good as you think it feels being debt free, it's 100 times better than that. It is wonderful to not owe anybody any money.
I had never seen this program, and I was surprised that I'd never seen it because it's been around over 20 years and I've seen a lot of stuff. And I was really flabbergasted that there was a program that could get my 26 remaining years down to 6.9 years. And the program has proved true for me. It said it could save me over $50,000. My new estimate is about 5.4 years, which I think is amazing. That being debt free is a beautiful thing. And so I pastor a small church about 10 miles from the town. My town is a very small town, but I pastor in a little town that's about 1/10 the size of my little town. And so that's what I'm doing. And my whole mission in life is to bring people to God and to show people how to maximize their lives. There's a lot of good teaching out there about how you should be debt free, how you can be debt free, but people are left to their own devices to implement all of that beautiful teaching. I think about Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, Larry Burkett. He used to do a lot of financial education for churches. You name the program, everybody's telling you how to get out of debt, but human behavior being what it is, Pareto principle being what it is, 80-20 principle, most of us are not consistent at implementing those principles. Who would ever drive a car anymore using Rand McNally on the passenger seat? Who would ever do that? You have to stop at every state line and flip the map and find out where you are again, and it never recalibrates anything. The GPS for your money is the only tool that I know that takes all of these beautiful principles and allows people to successfully implement them on a daily and regular basis. So it's one thing to tell people what to do. It's another thing to give people the power to succeed at what they should be doing. Most of the reason why people are in debt is because they've made consumer related purchases. Those never pay off. Those never bring a return. Refrigerators, cars, and everything else we buy. The Money Max is not one of those things. It returns your investment 50 to 100 times over. What refrigerator have you ever bought that puts more money back in your pocket? What car repair have you ever done that puts more money back in your pocket? People have to change their mindset and think, I'm going to make this one purchase for life, and it's going to maximize every dollar I make for the rest of my life.
Money Max has been absolutely life changing for our family. When we got started, I was incredibly skeptical. I'm an accountant by degree, and so I was fairly certain that I knew exactly what I needed to do. I was also fairly certain that what I was doing wasn't working. And thankfully, because it wasn't working to the extent that Money Max said was possible, I was willing to give it a shot because what if it could do what it said it could do? We had gone through trauma with our oldest son, and I had completely stopped working, and we were in a place where we were in a big hole and we were 52. We had cashed out all our retirement. We had had to take a mortgage out on a house we'd already paid off. We had 29 years left. And I was fairly certain that we were going to work until the day we died. And Money Max came in and it gave me visibility that maybe there was a possibility we could be debt free in less than 5 years and save $260,000 of interest. And even though I thought there's no way, if that were possible, I would already know this is what I do for a living. But as I got to use the platform and I realized that MoneyMax's whole purpose was to make sure that I canceled every single possible dollar of interest. And even if I could have done those calculations, I didn't have time. And even if I had had time, I didn't want to spend my time doing that because time is precious. And then it did the opposite as well. It made sure that every single dollar was working for me, that my money was never sitting idly in the bank. And that power of interest cancellation plus interest accumulation made a massive difference in what we were able to accomplish. And I'm so grateful to MoneyMax because it gave us the ability to wake up every single day with hope again. Wake up every single day with a very clear plan. Wake up every single day with complete transparency on where our money is going and how we're leveraging the assets that we have. And that was powerful because it's really easy to wake up in the middle of the night and think that I need something from Amazon because I don't sleep a lot. And Amazon makes me happy. But when I look at MoneyMax and I look at my Amazon budget and I realize that I've already reached my Amazon budget that I set for myself and it's only day 7 of the month, then I know that I've got to return some of those impulse purchases. And there's power in being able to do that too. And it's something I never could have done without MoneyMax because that money didn't feel like real money. And it didn't feel like real money simply because I didn't realize how powerful it was to let it work for me. And I should have, right? That's what my background is. Theoretically, I knew in my head, but practically, I was reacting to the stress in my life. And it was bringing me comfort to make those purchases. And I had forgotten that real comfort comes in becoming debt free and having the power to serve others, to make a difference, to live a life that you're not constantly worried about what tomorrow is going to bring. And so, even though I was skeptical at the beginning, I'm 100% convinced that this is the way that we can go out and we can change America. We can give everybody the same peace that I have now, and we can give them the same clarity that I have. And that's so, so important because if we can do that, then we can make the world a kinder place. And that starts to be really exciting. And because MoneyMax is completely different from any other program I've ever experienced. Think about QuickBooks, it's phenomenal at telling us what we've already done. It's not so great at forecasting what we're going to do. MoneyMax is phenomenal at telling us what we've already done, but it's also mapped out every single move we're going to make until that debt free date and further. And so it is absolutely designed to give us perfect clarity on everything that's going to happen coming down the pike based on our budget, based on my budget. That was incredible to me. And my budget changes like the wind. I'm like, all of a sudden, there's a whole new medical expense that I've got to roll in. And QuickBooks or any other software would have just been like, I would have started over from scratch trying to rebuild what my plan is. With MoneyMax, I add that in and it instantly recalculates. And I know either number one, Houston, we have a problem, or number two, it's fine and it's not going to be a big deal. And so I can keep moving forward. And that clarity is worth its weight in gold because that clarity tells me whether we need to pivot and make some kind of major change in order to accommodate whatever that new expense is, or whether or not we're fine. And I just need to keep the status quo. And it works both ways. What if my husband Paul sometimes will get a surprise bonus? And that feels like bonus money. But MoneyMax says, okay, if we get a big bonus or an influx of cash, even if it's just a few $100s, it takes those dollars and it makes sure that I use those the best, smartest, most mathematically efficient way possible. And I don't waste a single penny. And it also doesn't control the things that are important to me. And that was so important because my dad died at 59. I was 52 when I found MoneyMax. And so in subconsciously, I've got 7 years left in my runway. And I don't want you to tell me I have to give everything up because I might be dead before I'm debt free. Right. And MoneyMax said to me, no, if you want to keep that Starbucks budget, put it in. And I'm going to calculate exactly what you can do with that there. Now, total transparency, I kept that Starbucks budget in for just, I don't know, 60, 90 days. And then I bought an espresso machine because I'm like, this is dumb. I'm taking that money back. And so another superpower is transparency to see, is it really worth it? Or is there an alternative that you haven't even thought of because you want those dollars back? MoneyMax makes it super simple to set up a budget and we decide what categories are important to us. So for me, I have a Starbucks budget, an Athena budget because I only have one grandbaby, and an Amazon budget. Those are three areas that I need more visibility to because I know there are weak spots for me. But I was able to set the budget up exactly the way that I wanted it with exactly the categories that were important to me. And I had support that was helping me do that. I didn't have to remember to go do that on my own. I was able to do an onboarding call with support. And part of that was specifically designed to help me set my budget up. And that took the pressure of having to figure it out. And now it's just done. And once it was done, now I have transparency and I could absolutely follow it. And I know exactly how I'm doing. Also know if I was silly in my thinking. I'm like, is the electric bill really average $200 a month? Not in North Carolina in the winter. And to have flexibility to instantly update the budget, and it's not difficult, and I've got the transparency of actual expenses, and also so easy to simply track our spending that it became a no-brainer to tweak it automatically to find dollars that I could use. MoneyMax has changed everything for our family. We were, Paul and I were constantly at each other's throats because of money. There was less money than there were things that we needed to get done, and we had no clarity, and we were both stretched to the max with what we needed to do, just to take care of Taylor and to take care of the things that were going on. And MoneyMax took that pressure off, but it also gave us a vehicle that allowed us to right the ship. We were sinking. We were a sinking ship. And it gave us the ability to get on the same page. It gave us the ability to have a clear path forward that was a good path without changing anything. And that was, first of all, eye opening. And then, second, such an incredible relief to know that there was a plan forward. And then for our kiddos, we've done a great job of teaching them how to tuck and roll. We've done a great job of teaching them sacrifice and how you support your family. And I really wanted to teach them that you can also live a life that's fiscally responsible and still serve incredibly well, still be set up for your future. Through MoneyMax, we were able to set our kiddos up so that they're set for life. They'll never, ever live in a place, they'll never have a mortgage that they expect to pay for 30 years. My kiddos didn't even believe they could get a mortgage because they're 20. And the thinking in that generation right now is they're going to rent forever because it's just not affordable. And what we were able to do with MoneyMax is show them not only is it possible, it's a slam dunk and you've got this and you're going to be debt free in less than 10 years or less than 7, just depending on how frugal they are, what discretionary income they have available. And it changed their whole perspective about what's possible. And I really believe that's the power in what we do. MoneyMax gives us the ability to give transparency to each family, each kiddo, each person that is hoping to retire one day and thinking they're never gonna. We can give them transparency to, number one, what's possible. And then number two, they get to wake up every single day with incredible hope and purpose and a path forward. And sometimes we just need clarity on the path. And if we have clarity on what our next step is, wouldn't you agree that we could execute? We just need to know which step is the right one. Not knowing often just leads to paralysis because we're like, I don't want to mess up, so I don't do anything. And MoneyMax takes that away and it gives us perfect clarity. And we know exactly what the end goal is. And we know that it's guaranteed. And we know that it's going to change with us. And so we don't have to freak out. Because if something happens, if the worst day happens, we're set, we're ready, we're prepared. We've got an emergency fund, we've got a backup plan. We've got all those things are built into MoneyMax with our plan and what's important to us. And then we just focus on living life the way that's important to us.
I'm Dr. Bob Levine, and I'm trained as a holistic health clinician. I've helped thousands of people get optimize their health in many ways. But one thing that was really outside of my view, and I'm so grateful to have come across the Money Max account, is that I was never helping people, although I was helping a lot of people relieve stress and pain and all kinds of other symptoms. I never was dealing with financial stress, the stress of financial disruption, and since was introduced to the Money Max account, I saw an opportunity to expand my capabilities to help people with another kind of very important stress. In fact, financial stress could be the number one stressor in our society right now, and we know that it contributes to, up to 40% of all divorces because of financial stress. So I was so pleased that I could incorporate that into my treatment regimen with people. And it makes my work go faster because I was leaving out one of these important uh, sources of stress. And so now I can deal with all kinds of the global stress aspects that people need to deal with when they're dealing with what's going on in their lives. And hopefully I can help people who are having financial problems and it's affecting their relationship, not go through the hazard of getting a divorce because they didn't get into it wanting that, and it's just something that happens sometimes with people. And so I see the Money Max account as helping people preserve relationships. And what I love about it is I was able to be debt free, go from 32 years down to under 3 years because of the way my money was all over the place. And I never liked ever, cataloging what was going on with my money, where, how I was spending it, never budgeted anything. I would rather be doing other things. And so, um, when I saw the Money Max account, like I gathered all my information, we got it into the program, and it was amazing. It's amazing. Like now I am the financial expert about my finances. There's nobody else besides me and the Money Max account that can tell me my current status, where everything is, what's happening, projecting into the future, where I need to go, where I want to go, and it's on the fly. It's like they told me it was like a financial GPS, and it is. You get instantaneous adjustments to anything that changes in your financial situation. And I just really love that about the program because I'm trained in brain research. That was my original career, brain research. I have a PhD in that. And so I'm very analytical in general, and I like, science and math, and the fact that this program is so heavily mathematically based. There's only one right answer to getting debt free the fastest, and the Money Max account can produce that for people. And then if you want to buy something, like you want to buy a boat or you get a little extra money, you want to use it, it tells you exactly how much it's going to cost you in terms of adding years to your debt-free date. And you can decide if you want to, you can really decide if you want to make these investments. So I love that fact that, and also when people are getting debt-free faster, they can start building wealth faster. So that's really important to me too, to help people become debt free, build wealth faster. And so I love the program for that reason. So I'm really happy with it. It's an amazing program. It makes my work with people in terms of their optimizing their health go faster because it's now another area of life that's so important to people, and I can address that with them and uh, help them deal with that kind of financial stress, and then recommend that they use the Money Max account for getting themselves debt free and building wealth faster. Well, in my view, there's at least three different groups of people, but the three that I'm thinking about are the people that have a lot of financial stress, and it affects their relationship, it affects their communications, and it can lead to divorce. So that's one group of people. Then there's another group of people who have the same financial stress and the same effects of financial distress on their communication. It causes miscommunication stress. It's like a snowball effect. And yet those people stay married even though they're suffering with it. So and all those people are suffering and they don't have to necessarily. And then a third group that I think about are people who have managed their finances. They've got really, they're really great with their money. They have enough money. They make enough money, and yet they're still spending hundreds of thousands of dollars needlessly towards bank interest, which they could use to help shore up the legacy for their family, themselves in retirement, and their families and as it says in the Bible, that we need to provide for our children's children. And then there's the group that's, unhappily married because of their miscommunication stress, and some of that is financial too. And so that's why I deal with the stress of finances, the stress of miscommunication, and then the stress of all these other automatic patterns that people have. So that's it's a beautiful program. I'm so happy I got exposed to it and I'm using it.